All right, welcome to the first episode of the podcast. Uh, this is going to be a sports podcast, obviously, as you can tell. I'm a Detroit sports fan, so I'm going to be talking a lot Detroit sports on here, but I'm also going to be talking sports around the league and just giving my takes, some brain dead takes, some takes that are fire, some takes that we don't know if they're going to be brain dead or fire until you actually see the game on the field. So let's get it started. First off, is a debate that has gotten heated on Twitter recently: Cade versus Evan Mobley. So I'm taking Cade Cunningham all day. And here's why. No shit against Evan Mobley. He's going to be a good player, maybe even a great player. But if you swap their teams, if you put Evan Mobley on the Pistons and Cade Cunningham on the Cavaliers, I believe the Cavaliers are still where they are right now. But I believe that the Pistons literally look so much worse than they do right now. The only reason they have any wins at all is because Cade Cunningham. Simply it. If you look, when Cade Cunningham's out, they have little to no wins at all. Their games aren't even close. When Cade Cunningham plays, they're much more likely to have close games, to compete, and to win games. First off. Second off, if you put Mobley in Detroit, he doesn't get nearly as many opportunities as he has right now. He gets doubled up a lot, he gets tripled up a lot like Cade Cunningham does, and he doesn't know what to do with that, and he simply crumbles under rookie pressure. Cade Cunningham doesn't. He has the it factor. He has what you need as a player to be able to fight through those double teams, those triple teams. And if you put Cade Cunningham in a place like Cleveland, where they're not doubling Mobley, if you put him there, then I believe that he simply just shines even more. I believe that if Cade Cunningham was in a situation like Cleveland, that he'd be averaging 25, 22, 20 points a game, 6+ assists, 6+ rebounds. That's simply what I believe. But since he's in Detroit and Jeremy Grant's been out all these weeks, and you've had a lot of injuries in Detroit, Kelly Olynyk hurt, he's been getting double teamed, triple teamed, and he's still putting up numbers like 25 points, 8 assists, multiple games, the only rookie to do that. He's still putting up numbers like he did against Denver, where he was being doubled and even triple teamed on a play, where he put up 34 points. I think it was 8 assists, and 5+ rebounds, I believe. 4 blocks, 2 steals on like 54% shooting from 3, and a positive field goal percentage, over 50% field goal percentage. I think he was 14 for 26 from the field that game. Uh, you know, Evan Mobley's gonna be good, maybe even great. I said it, but Cade's potential is all time great. He has that kind of potential. He is that dude. I'm not saying he's all time great now, not even an all-star right now, arguably. But he has the potential. If he brings Detroit from the worst franchise, or not the worst franchise, the worst team in the league, and he brings them and he wins a ring within the next several years, or he brings them even into the contender status, they win some Eastern Conference championships, they win some playoff series, and he stacks up those numbers, and if he gets to a point where he's averaging LeBron James kind of numbers, which I think he can, I think you're looking at an all-time great player in Detroit. He might end up being the best player to ever put on a Pistons uniform. I'm not saying he is right now, not even close right now. So please don't get pissed and say, "Oh, that's such a stupid take." I'm saying the potential is there. We've seen him perform under pressure. We've seen him put up big numbers. We've seen him do things, create for his teammates. We've seen him hit middies. We've seen him finish at the rim. We've seen him hit 3-pointers. We've seen him play god tier defense. We've seen literally anything you want out of a player out of Cade Cunningham. He's a guard, yet he rebounds the ball like he's a forward or a center. Like, I don't know what more you want out of him as a player, because we've seen it all. We've seen a bright future in Detroit from Cade Cunningham. And Evan Mobley, we don't know yet. He hasn't been doubled. He hasn't gotten the Giannis treatment. He's not gotten Davis treatment. He hasn't even gotten the Cunningham treatment. He hasn't even been any pressure put on him defensively at all, relatively. Yeah, he might get a man on him on defense who's pressuring him, playing good defense. He's not been doubled. He's not been triple teamed. He's not feeling that kind of pressure because he's on a good team that's gelling and flowing, right? And a lot of people will say, well, yeah, that's due to Evan Mobley. No, it's not really. Yeah, he's contributing to their team, but if they had a player who was putting up similar numbers to him, 16 points a game, 15 points a game, they'd be in the same exact position they are right now. I don't believe he's making a large difference in their team. He might in the future, but he's not right now. So I just think that each team got what they need. It's that simple. Like, the Cavaliers got the player they need. They needed Evan Mobley. Great for you. Great, Cleveland. You got exactly the guy you needed. Happy for you. The Pistons got what they needed. They did not need Evan Mobley. They got Cade Cunningham. They needed Cade Cunningham. That being said, for Rookie of the Year, I'm taking Cade Cunningham over Mobley for all those reasons I just outlined. I'm not disrespecting Mobley or saying he's trash. He's obviously a good player, going to be great, maybe even an Anthony Davis kind of player. But currently, right now, Cade Cunningham is playing better, and I think he's shown that his ceiling is a little bit higher than Evan Mobley's right now. All right, So next is the debate I want to get to because I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan. Well, it's not really a debate because there's nobody debating me, but it's a take I want to get to because I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan. We got the Rams versus the Niners. This is going to be a good game. I believe it might end up being the game of the week. A lot of people are going to say Cincinnati versus Patrick Mahomes, and they might be right, but if the Chiefs or the Bengals blow out the other team, if that game turns into a blowout and one team collapses, then this game is going to be the game of the week. No doubt in my mind. You got two quarterbacks who have to prove something. Jimmy Garoppolo has to prove he can throw the football and can't just rely on his run game. Like, he has to prove that he's that guy. And he hasn't proven it that far, just thus far. And if he doesn't prove it, he might not have a job next season. And if he does have a job, he's not going to get the max money that he could get if he shows out on Sunday. Matthew Stafford, yeah, he's quieted the critics to some extent, but you got people still saying that he's not that guy, that he can't do it, that he's just a stat patter. He's going to be looking to prove some people wrong. The Rams are going to be taking some shots. Stafford does not have a hurt foot like he did when they played the Niners earlier in the season. So I think you're going to see Matthew Stafford thrive and excel. You saw Aaron Rodgers start to pick apart the Packers defense, and the only reason that the Packers did not score 21, 28, 35 points that game is because Aaron Rodgers has zero weapons outside of Davante Adams. Zero. They doubled up Davante Adams. Game was over. You're done. See you later. That's pretty much it. That's all that happened that week. And the snow, the receivers couldn't run routes. They couldn't get traction. It was a perfect scenario for the Niners to walk away with an upset win in Lambeau Field. 14 points is not going to cut it versus the Los Angeles Rams. You cannot double Cooper Kupp. If you double Cooper Kupp like the Buccaneers did, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to have Odell Beckham Jr. wide open down the field. You're going to have Tyler Higbee in the middle of the field open on those crossing routes. You're going to have Akers, other people getting open. So you have to play man-to-man coverage. And I think that's going to kill you a lot. Because when it comes down to it, the Niners commit more penalties than any team in football almost. And they commit more pass interference penalties than almost any team in football. And this referee crew that is refereeing the game on Sunday calls more penalties than almost any refereeing crew in football. Certainly more than any refereeing crew left in the playoffs. So I think you're going to see the Rams take a lot of shots early and force the officials to make some shaky calls. They're going to take a lot of shots early, force the Niners to grab them, and they're going to force the officials to make those pass interference penalties that are going to extend the drives. And I think you're going to see the key of the game is going to be stopping the run for the Rams. So basically, the Rams, if they jump out to an early lead, this game's over. It's done. You can book it. It is done. Jimmy Garoppolo is not that guy. The Rams roll out to a 7 or 14-point lead. This game's done because there's not any snow to save the Niners. You can't double anybody to save the Niners. You are done. If you are down by 7 or 14 early, 7 or 10 early, and you're the Niners, you are done. Jimmy Garoppolo cannot come from behind and win you a football game. Unless the Rams completely collapse like they did against the Buccaneers, possible, you are done. And I don't think you're going to see that kind of collapse again because McVay and Stafford and everybody was adamant that they got to clean that shit up to win this game. So you're going to see the Rams protect the football a lot better. And I think that when it comes down to it, number 9 is going to make one more big throw than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's just all it is. And Jimmy Garoppolo is going to commit one more mistake than number 9 is going to commit. Matthew Stafford thrives in these moments. I know we haven't seen him in the playoffs a lot, thrive under pressure situations, but you saw it last week. What you saw last week against the Buccaneers is what Lions fans have seen from Matthew Stafford his whole career. A clutch quarterback who just needs a chance to shine. A clutch quarterback who thrives on the moment. You heard him after the game. He loved it. He said, yeah, I would have loved to take a knee after the game, but you really love the chance to go out there at the end of a game and steal someone's soul when they have momentum. He loves the opportunity when the pressure moment arises and everybody's eyes are on you. When the opponent has momentum and he senses you have momentum, he loves being the guy who completely rips that from under you and crushes your soul. He literally said that word for word pretty much. So I think you're going to see Matthew Stafford ball out. He knows that the Rams think that that the Niners think they have the Rams number. McVay is a good enough coach to make the necessary adjustments, and I think that running the football for 3 downs is not going to work for the Niners. They're going to have to take shots in the air, and that's going to kill them. This is not going to be a snowy day in Lambeau. It's not going to be a day where you can just double up a receiver and call it goods like you did with Davante Adams. You're going to have to actually play football for 60 minutes, and I think the Rams are more capable of doing that than the Niners. When it really comes down to it. Like when you're the Niners, what kind of road have you had to this point? You beat the Dallas Cowboys, who are arguably the most overrated team in the history of football. barely beat them for that matter, despite your quarterback doing his best to throw that game away. He did his damn best to completely throw that game away. And you still won that game. Okay? But you did it against the most overrated team in football, so no one cares. Secondly, you beat, who was it they beat? Green Bay and Lambeau. Okay? Like, you did that in Lambeau Field when it was snowing, when the receivers couldn't run routes for Green Bay, when Aaron Rodgers has 0 weapons, 0 offensive line. Good job for you, I guess. If Randall Cobb was in his prime, if Aaron Rodgers had his weapons around him that he needed, you would have gotten destroyed, ran out of the stadium. I don't want to hear it. Matthew Stafford has had to face Kyler Murray, and he ripped them to shreds. He ripped the Arizona Cardinals with J.J. Watt to shreds, just tore them up. And then he went into Tampa Bay and defeated the greatest quarterback of all time, despite his team trying to throw the game away. It wasn't like Jimmy Garoppolo, where Jimmy Garoppolo was trying to throw the game away and his team won. It was Matthew Stafford's entire team was trying to throw the whole game away, and they still won the football game. Because when it comes down to it, Matthew Stafford he's that guy. He can make the big throw. I said it before and I'll say it again. He's going to make the big throw when it counts. He's going to make one more big play than Garoppolo is. And the key for the Rams is what I said. Stop the run. Don't commit turnovers. Play solid. You don't have to go all out at the beginning of the game at getting pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not your first priority. Your first priority is stuffing the run. Stack everyone on the line early. If they get a few quick 5, 10, 15-yard passes, whatever, that's fine. Stick with stuffing the run because they're going to run the ball 2 or 3 times in a row, and you're going to end up with 3rd and 9 if you stuff the run, and Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to make a throw that he can get pressure. It's that simple. If you blitz early, if you try to get pressure early, and you allow that run game to thrive, like the Bucs were getting a lot of big runs off with Fournette because you were trying to pressure Brady, then you're not going to win the game. You have to approach this differently than you did Tampa Bay. Jimmy Garoppolo is not Tom Brady. Not even close. He's not even a 300th of a player that Tom Brady is. So you need to come to the game with that in mind and approach it as such. You need to know that their game doesn't run through their quarterback. Their game runs through their running back and their defense. You take the running game out, you win the game. Simple as that. Like, the Niners beat the shit Dallas team. They barely beat Green Bay in a game that heavily favored the Niners play style. Like, I said it before, I'm repeating myself, but Kyle Shanahan is a great coach, and that's why this game will be close. If this game is close at all, it's because Kyle Shanahan is a fantastic coach. He's actually a fantastic coach. I'm not saying that sarcastically. He is a top 3 coach in the league right now. McVay, him, and one other coach you want to put up there, maybe Bruce Arians, is a top 3 coach in the league right now. That's the only reason this game will be close. If the Niners win, it will be despite Jimmy Garoppolo. If the Rams win, it will be because Matthew Stafford. Case closed.